we did a whole lot of hiring drives. A partner of mine who recruited with me, he brought me in to recruit for Save Mart. My first thought was, why would I work for a grocery store? And what I found was that the Save Mart companies, it's a small town feel. It's a family type organization, and you know, I really feel that, you know, I really enjoy working with Save Mart. And I found that once I came on, it became clear that there's room for advancement within this company. So you may not have thought about working in a grocery store, but there are management level positions all over every store. Every department in every grocery store has managers, assistant managers. There's a total of 8 managers in every one of our stores across Northern California. Let's see, so I'm a recruiter. I cover Sacramento region all the way up to Redding, and then I also cover the mountains all the way out to Reno. I do have 5 other members of my team that cover the other stores in our company.
Okay, thank you so much. What's the best thing about your job, and why do you like to work for Save Mart?
So I spent a lot of time in the Army getting yelled at every day, and I got out of the Army. I did some construction work for a little bit, and everyone there was pretty rough around the edges. Coming to work for Save Mart, everyone was nice to me, and in the past, that sort of meant that something bad was going to happen. I wasn't quite used to that. I didn't know how to handle that, and so I was sort of waiting for the other shoe to drop. I was waiting for, you know, I was waiting to get fired or something like that. But I found that it's just generally a really nice place to work. Everyone is nice to each other, and everyone enjoys what they do. I've worked for other companies where you have disgruntled employees hanging around, you know, and I haven't found that to be the case here at Save Mart. What I do is reach out and I try to fill our entry-level management positions. Like I said, every store has 8 management positions. So I develop relationships with store managers and I network within the community. What a lot of people don't realize is these entry-level positions, they start growing pretty quickly. So it's a very viable career field. A store manager in one of our locations makes well over $100,000 a year. So for someone who's motivated and wants to be aggressive about what they do, if someone wants to move around and take the opportunities that we have available, someone could definitely climb the ladder and eventually become a store manager.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Ryan. So it sounds like it's pretty fun to work for your company, and it sounds like the culture and the people are great to work with. What about the challenges that the job offers? What do you have to say on that?
So it's definitely a fast-paced environment, and being that it is retail, we do work 7 days a week, and I would say that one of the challenges would be maybe not so much of a flexible or not so much of a set work schedule. When I do hire people, I look for open availability, and we do work nights and weekends. You know, grocery stores are open most of the time. Store managers get in around 6:37, and you know the night crew doesn't get off until 4 or 5 in the morning. So really, there's always going to be someone at the store. You know, it might be that a night shift schedule works better for some people than others, but I would say one of the challenges is fast-paced environment and the schedule. So someone who's looking to work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday is just not really going to fit in too well within this organization.
Awesome, thank you for that. What kind of employment opportunities does your company offer?
So every one of my store managers hires clerks. So they handle our clerk hiring. If someone is interested in that, I can definitely put them in touch with the right person. My team mostly focuses on, like I said, the entry-level management positions, all the way up through department managers, assistant store managers, and store managers. We have a different team that handles our corporate recruiting, and with that, we do have several distribution centers across Northern California. We have centers in Merced, Lathrop, and Roseville. These centers, they hire drivers and warehousing. So salary for a driver would start in low 20s and go up to mid 20s, and a warehouse is slightly less than that. But if someone's interested in those positions, we are always looking for qualified drivers. So if someone is interested, please reach out. Now, for the entry-level management positions, a key carrier would be our equivalent of a shift lead. So that would be if anyone went up to a cash register and they had, like, maybe like an expired coupon or whatever the issue was. Maybe something was marked incorrectly and the employee wasn't able to resolve it, and they escalated the situation. The person who walks over, that's going to be the key carrier, and that's the base positions that we start at. We also hire assistant department managers, so that would be a grocery store has a produce department, a meat department, deli department, bakery department, and we also have our center store, which would be dry goods. In each of these departments, they have both an assistant manager and a department manager. After that, I have a center store manager who manages the center of the dry goods. Then it goes up to assistant store manager and then store manager.
Wow, that's a lot of management positions within one store. That's actually pretty cool to know. What advice would you give to our veterans when applying with your company?
Well, I would say that a lot of the store managers that I work with, they specifically look for people with grocery skills, and I'm really trying to break them of that because, I talk with these store managers and I plant the seed with them early on. I just start saying, we need someone with leadership skills until they turn around and look at me and they say, Ryan, I'm really looking for someone with leadership skills. So I'm always saying that. And what I would do is I would look at someone's resume and help them translate their employment into specifically what's going to benefit my store. If I thought someone was the right candidate, I would definitely go to bat and help tailor that resume and help them articulate their skills to that particular store manager. So what I would say is I have people who know how to stack vegetables and stack produce. I have people who know how to make sandwiches and bake cakes. What I need is someone who can lead a department. I need someone who can keep those people on track and keep people motivated. And I feel like the particular group who's on this call today is uniquely qualified for that. So for example, I would say a key carrier, that might look like either an E4 or an E5. I would say that that's probably the level that I would be looking at to hire in that position. And then it would go up after that. Department managers might be like something like an E6, somewhere in that neighborhood. A store manager, I would say probably an E7 or above.
Awesome, thank you. So what makes Save Mart, FoodMaxx, and Lucky Supermarket different from many other similar businesses in the area?
So I spend most of my time in competing grocery stores trying to take their people. That's what I do. I've noticed that other grocery stores, there are people who are kind of walking around not really with a positive attitude. So if you walk into a Save Mart or a Lucky's or a FoodMaxx, you definitely see, we try to cultivate a bubbly kind of personality. So we want employees who are going to go above and beyond for our customers, and we actively seek that out. We look for people who are going to be extroverts and engaging. That's a personality type that's You know, if you're an extrovert, you're engaging, and you have some leadership skills, you're going to fit right in. I would say these other stores, they have limited promotion potential. Like I said, this is a small hometown company. We do have 204 stores, so we're on that verge. However, we haven't forgot our roots. We still care about the employees that we have, and we go above and beyond to take care of our people. And that definitely filters through down to everyone within our store. I guess I would say that I don't really feel that going into Safeway.
Okay, thanks for that, Ryan. How does someone sign up with Save Mart, FoodMaxx, or Lucky in order to be considered for a position?
So we have first of all, they can reach out to me, and I'm sure my contact information is going to be included on here somewhere. But you go to so there are separate websites. You go to SaveMart.com, FoodMaxx.com, or Lucky's, and there's a now hiring tab. The application process is extremely simple. I would say tailor your resume before you start the process. It's not necessary to create a profile. You log in, answer a couple questions, and upload your resume. And then someone from my team would be in contact.
And where does Save Mart and FoodMaxx and Lucky's supermarket, where are they located in our area?
So like I said, we have 204 stores. Our southernmost store is Tehachapi, and our northernmost store is Redding. Then we're all along the coast, out as far as Sparks and Reno.
Wow, that's a lot of area that you guys cover, but a lot of opportunity too, right? That's great. What type of benefits can an employee expect when working for one of your stores?
So our benefits package includes medical, dental, and vision for the employee, and that's covered. There is an additional cost for extra dependents. Benefits start 60 days after the hire date. And I do have a flyer with more specific information.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing all that information with us, Ryan. With that, we're actually going to go ahead and move into the Q&A. And we have some questions in the chat box that I'm going to go ahead and start reading from. The first being a question from Jeanette. And she asks, what are the minimum requirements for management positions?
The minimum requirements for management positions, it's going to be experience. So what I would say is any sort of leadership experience is what I look for on resumes. The short answer is I'm the one that determines eligibility. So I would imagine most of the people on here are not going to have specific relevant grocery experience, and that's a lot of what my requirements are. But the fact that we have a recruiting team, our specialty is translating external skills into our scale. So an entry-level management position would need 6 months of equivalent time as a clerk, which that could easily be met by any sort of military contract. Even a 2-year contract would translate to fill this requirement. And then it goes up from there. So I would say a department manager, I'm going to be looking for someone that has probably about 4 or 5 years experience leading a team. You know, that might be a team 3 to 5 people for a department manager. We do have specific requirements for our meat department. So we have journeyman meat cutters. We're a union shop. If someone's interested in cutting meat, they would actually have to go through a 2-year apprenticeship in order to become a journeyman meat cutter. And then for the meat department, I would expect the department manager to have at least 7 years cutting meat. Now for a store manager, most of the applicants within our pool come from other assistant store managers that are trying to get this position. A lot of them have at least 20 years in retail.
So experience is the key. All right. As far as veteran preference, David is asking, do you have a veteran preference policy?
No, we don't. So our interview schedule is for external applicants. The way we quantify our hiring process is we directly translate scores on an interview. So we have a very structured interview sheet, and the interviewer would ask a question that translates into a score 1 through 5. There's 5 questions on our interview. Those numbers get added up and calculated in a formula.
Okay, got it. And then as far
Now
as gaining,
that comes into play when we have a high level position, like if a store manager position opens up, then that would come into play. However, there are a lot of positions that we struggle to fill. So there may be situations where the store managers are using that sheet and they are calculating these scores, but there's only one applicant. And then it would come down to, do we want to move forward with this applicant or not?
got it. Okay, and then we have another question from Jeanette. How would a veteran or anyone gain grocery skills? I know you provided some of that information to us already, but what steps would they take?
I want to make it clear. I don't require grocery skills to put someone into a position like this. Store managers, we're trying to overcome that hurdle with our store managers that they think that they want this, that they want someone with grocery skills, when in fact, I want someone who can lead a team. I can teach anyone grocery skills. I need someone who has some leadership skills. And the challenge I've been facing is articulating that, explaining why these particular skills are applicable. And so no, I don't think the grocery skills are required. I'm just saying that's something that they've looked at in the past. I'm looking for comparable leadership skills.
Okay, got it. And then I think we already covered the information as far as what are the requirements for entry-level manager positions. Thanks for your question, Raymond. If we didn't answer it, can you please let us know? So I'll go ahead and move on to the next question. Or this is actually not a question, but a statement. We have one of our participants, Ornia, I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name. She states that she worked for Save Mart many years ago. It is a great company to work for. I still am friends with a key carrier who recently retired from one of the Stockton, California stores. So that's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that. And then let's see, we have a question. If someone applies for a position and does not hear anything back, is there a best way to contact you or a recruiter to follow up?
Yeah, so I imagine my contact information is going to be on the link here. If not, my phone number is 209-638-8586. Our positions stay open for about 30 days. So if you apply and you haven't heard anything in 30 days, there's a good chance that position's already filled. And so if you applied for a clerk position at the store, I would say these store managers are not, they're not the most technical savvy to get in and screen through our applicants. So if you want a clerk position in one of our stores, I would suggest to apply and then to walk in and approach the store manager. That's what I would do.
Yes, face-to-face is always great. Okay. And then another statement, not a question. Jaime, he is a Navy vet, by the way, says that for the Navy, that line of work would be done by our supply team. So just a little fun fact there. Thanks, Jaime. And then Felicia asks, would you please share your recruiter contacts, which you just did. And we will be sharing that information with everybody in a follow-up email as well. We'll gather that information from Ryan. Thank you for your question, Felicia. And then Jaime asks, what military skills would be recommended that we highlight when applying for a job?
So let's see. I would highlight any sort of institutional training, any sort of institutional leadership training, like any of your NCO education schools. I think that would definitely stand out. Any sort of leadership positions that you've held. Also, applicable training might be for, I did discuss, we are looking for drivers. So I would highlight those kind of skills. Other than that, I think the service itself is what, successful service is what's going to be the required skills. I guess what I'm saying is to be successful in the military requires a certain disposition, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Okay, and then let's see. We have a question. Who is your counterpart for the Monterey area in the Central Coast? And that's from Raymond. Or would it be you?
Her name is Jennifer Perry. And let me pull up her number. So I talk to members of my team every day. We're all in close communication. If you want to email me, I can forward your information to the correct person. Jennifer Perry's email is area code 209-672-2027. I'm sorry, did I say email? That's her phone number.
Thank you, Ryan. And I'll gather that from you as well so we can share it as you see fit. Okay, and then now we have a question coming from Charles. He's a case manager out in the Bay Area. Are you willing to reach out to the EDD geographic vet rep if you have an open position or hot job in a particular geo?
Absolutely. I'm looking to forge lasting relationships. So if I would jump on that immediately.
Awesome. And then a question from Jeanette. Do you have a specific resume format that you prefer, or do you provide feedback if a candidate asks?
I would provide feedback, yes. There is not a specific resume format. I would say keep it brief. I look at resumes, in under 10 seconds, I'm done reading it. So I'm usually not reading fine print. I'm usually just looking at job titles and the amount of time you fill them.
So all that stuff is true. Okay. I've been in employment services for a while, and we hear that quite a bit, that employers tend to just kind of like scale over the resumes and make a quick judgment. So you have confirmed that for me.
I would say a complicated job title. I would say to simplify what you've done.
That makes sense. All right, and it looks like those are all the questions that we have in the chat box. Does anyone else have a question, or would anyone like to come off mute to ask Ryan a question while we have him here with us today? Okay, so we're getting some thank yous for sharing. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any further questions at the moment, definitely feel free to reach out to myself if you have questions after we end this here today. And I'll reach out to Ryan and ask away and hopefully get an answer back to you all. But other than that, thank you all for being here. We really do appreciate your participation, especially you case managers, which, who are the ones that are working directly with our veterans out there. And hopefully you guys can push out this information and let them know that there are positions available with this amazing team over at Save Mart Supermarkets. Do you have anything that you'd like to say or add, Ryan, before we let you go?
I was hesitant to work at Save Mart initially. It took a friend of mine, a good 3-4 months to convince me to come and interview. like I said, it's a grocery store. I didn't think too much of it on the outside, and I didn't think that I would be happy doing what I'm doing. I was just, I was happy collecting my veterans benefits, going to school, and just doing that thing. I was doing great. I was going to school out in the Bay Area. The BAH out in San Francisco was, that was pretty hard to give up. So I stopped going to school. I came on with Save Mart, and I feel like, so when I was in the Army, I definitely felt like I was working towards a higher purpose. And when I got brought on, it was the pandemic had just started, and grocery stores are really the thing that held this country together. Held the fabric of society together. And I came on and started. We were doing lots of hiring. Stores were closing down, and it was critical to keep those stores open. So there were times I was working. I probably didn't get a day off the first 2-3 months I came on. We were doing hiring drives every day, keeping these stores up, and I really felt like it felt like grocery stores became a cornerstone of society. That's what, I really felt like I was giving back, and I felt like I was contributing in a way that maybe wasn't as obvious, before COVID hit. So, I think that mentality is really formed a family unit within a lot of these stores. A lot of people felt like they were sacrificing to come to work and give back to their community. And I would say that I feel that. That's why I came on with Save Mart. And as a result, I learned that about all I learned it's a viable career field. I wouldn't have thought that on the outside. I learned that if someone starts off and is professional and motivated, they can work their way up and they can provide for their family.
Thank you for sharing that. I was actually a 68 Romeo when I was in the Army, and that is a veterinary food inspection specialist. So I worked with all branches of the military in order to provide quality assurance services to commissaries. So yes, food service is definitely a very important job. It's supply for sure, but they're everywhere. Jaime, our Navy vet, can probably attest to the fact that the Navy does all this stuff out at sea, right? RASs, I mean, it's crazy. They're out there with ships and helicopters and just like shooting lines across to each other in order to get supplies across, food, things that we need, right, on an everyday basis. But for sure, definitely something we still need, definitely something that's very important. I'm very glad to hear that you guys just have such great morale within your company. I mean, that just makes it really exciting for me to be able to share this information with people that would like to apply. And again, I thank you for being here with us today. Neonia and I are just really excited to have had this opportunity to speak with you. So thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ryan.
Okay, and we'll leave it at that, you guys. If you have questions, we're going to hang out for a couple of minutes. But other than that, we're done for today. And that is our informational interview. And that's it with Save Mart Supermarkets, FoodMaxx, and Lucky Supermarkets. Thank you guys for joining us today.
Hey Amelia, this is Jeanette.
Hey there, Jeanette.
I just wanted to ask a question to Ryan. If you guys plan on having any large hiring events or anything like that, I think Charles mentioned it before, but would you be able to reach out to the local veteran reps so we can share that information?
Yes, absolutely. I guess I would need a list, and once I receive that, we'll reach out all the time. Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
If you'd like I have our job vacancy. So every Monday we post our vacancy list in every break room in our stores. So when that gets sent out, I think it might be good if I can forward that along with the contact list.
That would be awesome. Thank you. I think Amelia will probably put together a list of contacts.
Yes, we will. We'll go ahead and once we get the video all put together, and maybe even before that, we'll send out some information to share with you guys. So thank you for your question, Jeanette.
You're welcome.
And it looks like that's it for our questions, Ryan. I don't want to keep you too much longer. But again, thank you for being here with us today. So
Thanks for having me. Okay. So if that's it, I'm going to sign off.
all right, sounds great, Ryan. Thanks again.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks again for joining us. We're going to go ahead and log off.